Hi, everyone. Happy Saturday. How are you doing? Hi, Colleen. Thank you so much for being here. Guys, we have Colleen in the chat helping us out with our moderating today. And thank you all for tuning in. Today's class is for these beautiful earrings that I have here on the mat. And this is like one of the coolest techniques because it can become lots and lots of stuff. You can make bracelets, you can make different varieties of earrings, different styles. And I also have a demo plan to show you how to finish the mosaic bracelet without the special stitch and clasp that we used. So that was the class I did for Sam's Bead Shop. It was the one for Merry Makers where we had the bracelet that was like basically just peyote stitch. We finished it with those magnetic clasps. So I promise at the end of this class, I will demo a method that can be used both to finish that bracelet and these earrings as a bracelet. So yeah, lots of possibility here. I think you will love it. As you can see below me here is the hashtag to enter the giveaway for today. I'm going to give away a free winter mix, which is the thing I'm featuring in my class next week. So you'll hopefully maybe even get it before class if I get it in the mail first thing Monday. So yeah, that's what I'm doing today. And I'm just going to give everyone maybe another minute or two. And while we're waiting just for everyone to get in before I start the demo, I'm going to point you to the pinned comment. I have a PDF download that shows, it's really basic. It just shows the steps to do the diamond shape. And then here in class, we'll show you all the tips and tricks for turning it into all the various cool things like components you could turn it into. But in a nutshell, it's just the diagrams you need as kind of like the memory jogger to just kind of re-summarize everything I'm going to show you today in class. And again, that's going to be the pinned comment where you can find this. And if you're on Facebook, the pinned comment should also appear there, but let me know if it doesn't, and I'll drop it in the chat here again. And Colleen, it's just that it's the top one. I don't know if it shows. Does it show you should be able to, like, as the moderator, I think you can grab pinned comments, but I'm not sure. Let me know, and I'll figure out how to get that your way. But that's the only real thing I have to share other than where to buy the mixes. So the mixes are from Sam's Bead Shop. And I not only linked it here in the PDF as a way you can just click and go, but it's also in the description. And I know it's on the Facebook description as well, where you can just go and click on shop here for the class project items. And Rachel set it up so that you can find everything all in one page. It's really, really awesome. And I'm here, of course, to support any questions you have when you're looking for them. So the mixes I'm going to be highlighting today, I decided to focus on the two we didn't use in last class. There's a bunch of different mixes, but this is the Tucson Tapestry mix, and it is gorgeous. Of course, it has the mustard yellow with the turquoises, and then this is Apricot blush, and it has a bunch of other colors in it too. So I think it's got completely different colors between these two, no duplicates. So they're both completely different and really, really, really beautiful. I was looking at this one earlier thinking, how cool is this, right? And so I was going to, oh, thank you so much. So guys, look, check this out. Colleen is going to drop the link over there on Facebook. Thank you so much, Colleen. I wasn't sure if it, because right now Facebook wasn't letting me add links, and I was trying like right before class and I was having a hard time. So Colleen's saving me yet again. Thank you. So yeah, for Facebook folks, it'll be there in the comments. All right, and so I'm going to go ahead and talk about the materials really quick in addition to the TILAs. So really all you need is some beading thread. And I'm going to be working with some Fireline, but you can use basically almost any kind of Fireline beading thread. Other things that'll work are like the 1G that Sam's Bead Shop has. That will also work great for this project. If you're kind of new to bead weaving, you may have an easier time with Fireline, or Wildfire will work as well. And then a beading needle, and I'm using, I think this is a size 10 beading needle, but this is forgiving. Size 11, size 12, all that's going to work just fine. And then some size 11 seed beads. Now this is going to come in just for finishing and attaching either a couple of methods I'm going to show you actually. There's the one that's featured here, which is used to both finish your earring, and in addition to that, you can link beautiful things to the bottom of your earring, like this beautiful aventurine charm. This is a purple aventurine, and I actually think it's on the It is in the, I looked earlier and it's on the same page for supplies for this class where you'll find these. We put them together so you could find them because I thought that was such a cool complementing color with the apricot blush to have the purple aventurine. Is that what it's called? I think I got that right. And then what else can I show you? I think actually, oh, one minor incidental here is the head pin you might need if you're going to do a dangle, and I'll just put that together with you guys today in class as well. So just to kind of have a little suspension. And I feel like I'm forgetting, oh, ear wires. You might need ear wires, and then of course the standard tools. So like you might need some scissors. You might need chain nose pliers to open and close your ear wire. But I'm going to show you a couple different ways you can attach things to the ends that are involved replacing the tila with some seed beads. So little things like that. So let's just dive in. And for today's class, I'm going to work with the darker mix because as beautiful as this one is, and as much as I love it, it's a little hard to see the colors apart from each other. And so if you want to get a feel for the pattern that I created for this class, which is the same, it's the same pattern as far as like 4 colors in the same positions, but this one, they're so close to each other. There's actually 4 colors here, but they're a little bit, you know, it looks so ombre because they're very close. You get a very beautiful, intricate look. And both of these are flipped color, back to back, where I kind of flipped colors A and B. So you can tell I had a lot of fun. I was having a good time playing with these. Yeah, Ruth says the tilas look like Minecraft or pixelated art. Yeah, I agree, 100%. It seems like that to me too, and that might be why I like it so much. And yeah, so I'm going to demo with Tucson Tapestry. And I feel like that will be the easiest to see. And then also I can use black thread. Because with this one, I did use the crystal. It's a little bit easier to blend. Some of these are transparent, actually. All of them except for the middle are transparent in apricot blush. So you may want to go with crystal on that. All right, let's dive in. I'm going to get about 40 inches of beading thread is the note I wrote myself, and that's also in the PDF. So for me, that's maybe shoulder to my arm if I didn't feel like measuring to get a good measure. And just get that going here. Here we go. And if you're working with wildfire or fireline, you can flatten the end with your chain nose pliers, and that might make it easier for you to get your needle on. And let me go ahead and make this this the big one. And let's see here. Should be able to make this the solo layout. There we go. And so quick question here. Colleen's got it for you right here. And that's where you can find the PDF. Thank you, Colleen. The awesomest Colleen. She's indispensable for the best moderator ever. So thank you. And see how easy it makes to thread your needle? You got the chain nose pliers trick there. I got that from Meredith Roddy, and it has forever changed my needle threading life. Very awesome trick. And what I'm showing you now is the double version. And the good news is you don't have to learn anything special to do the double version. It's just the same thing twice, right? So what you'll have here is that you have, basically you'll have one diamond shape completed. And then when you go to complete the second diamond, the second diamond, you just link your first diamond to it. So it's super, super easy. And I'm going to go ahead and put one more needle on the other end of my thread. And that's just, to get it started. You don't actually have to work this 2 needle, but it's easier to get it started if you string it in a way that uses 2 needles. And I'll show you why in a second here. All right. So in the pattern, if you're doing the pattern, you can have the 2 needle method will help you visualize the placement of each of the color tilas that you're going to use. And so I use the 2 needle method just for this part, and then I bring each of those back down through. Then I work each side by itself. So I can work with my right hand, which is my preferred way of doing a stitch like this. But that said, there's lots of ways you can do it. So, and you could do a single hand method as well, because this you'll recognize is just peyote stitch. All right. And so I'm going to start with, you know what, when I did this one right here, the bronze, I was, it used a lot of the bronze. And so what I'm thinking I might do is swap it and work with different colors. I might swap to this one for my outside color. Isn't that a beautiful color? So that will be my outside color. So let's string that first, and it will become the point. Basically, it's going to become that bead right there. So that's this bead. And the next step in the stairs for each side will consist of the same color. So just go ahead and string those. And the next color in can be your accent color. So for me, that's going to be bronze. And in this case, I'm going to go ahead and string that onto both needles. So just like that. And Jennifer has a great question here. I'm going to go ahead and pop it up on the screen really quick. How many orders of TILAs would I need to buy for a bracelet? So the 9-gram bags will get you several pairs of earrings. What I discovered when I was making the mosaic bracelet was that one of these 9-gram bags got me a 7¼ bracelet beaded length. So this goes a long way in that peyote configuration. And I imagine that this would be a similar, if you just picture this as a bracelet, it just keeps going. I'm going to make a guess that you could probably, with one bag, get at least the bracelet. But if you wanted to make a bracelet and earrings, maybe get 2, just to be sure. I have not done that test yet, so I don't want to steer you wrong. But I did feel like the bag went a really long way. It just really seemed to. So, and also, I'm going to go ahead and pull my banner down so you can get this best view you can of my screen there. All right, so I've started what is essentially the first parts of it. So I've got, let me bring this back over. I've basically strung that so far, figure 1. And so I'm going to just keep repeating this up until I have the pattern repeated like that. And so next I want my next color, which in my original I decided was the mustard, but now I'm wondering, no, we'll stick with mustard. I think that looks good. We'll go with that. We're just going to reverse A and B, kind of like I did on the apricot one. And so I've got both of those, 1 on each needle. And now I'll bring the next TILA bead onto both of my needles. I really do think this is easier than doing a regular peyote start, but you can do a 1 needle start to this if you prefer. If you know your peyote stitch and you've got that down, you might find that quicker. And I just want to make sure you guys can see all the, it will flop around on you just a little bit at this step. And apologies, I've lost my needle, just wants to jump off today. There we go. All right. Okay, so now getting to the middle. And I just realized that if I'm sticking with my pattern, I would want this to be my next color. So forgive me, guys. Totally would still work, but I'm going for that diamond on the inside shape too. So I do want to make this one my 4th color. There we go. So same thing. I just want to bring on turquoise. And if you pull your working and tail threads apart like this, it just automatically tightens for you, which is really nice. There we go. Okay. So here's what I've got so far. I've strung those into the color 4. So now I'm going to do all color 4 and so on. So 1 of these on each needle, and then 1 of these on both needles. There we go. So far it's looking really, really nice. And the next thing I want to do is bring on 2 of the mustard. And these mustard are going to go into my accent color, which for me is bronze. So I think I would suggest laying them out in order A, B, C, and D on your mat, and then just working with them in that order to be sort of helpful. And last but not least, there's this beautiful color. So this one on each needle, and then we'll string an additional color A on both. And again, I've worked to the midpoint of my thread. So all of this work I've been doing was at the midpoint of that 40 inches that I cut at the beginning. So let me know in the, oh, thank you, Laurie. Thank you so much. I tried to make the PDF nice and easy to understand because I feel like it really supports the video to have a visual like that. And all I'm doing right now is trying to flip it so you guys can see what's happening. You don't actually have to do this every time. I just, for demo purposes, want to show a layout. But they're really, really flippy. There we go. Every time you flip one, the other will flip. All right, so everything's super loose right now, and that is okay. Because not only are we going to reinforce it, but when we add the rest of the diamond, it's going to get even better. I'm just making sure I have all my lights on. I feel like my screen is super dark today. Oh, and Tina's asking, what do you mean by the accent color? So in the mixes, I kind of just identified colors that I felt looked really complementary to each other. So for example, in Tucson Tapestry, I felt like the bronze and this color, they're next to each other. They're adjacent, but they're different. And so I considered this one my main and that my accent. And then these are my bold contrasts here in the center. And then in the apricot mix, I had a similar experience. Actually, you know what? It's easier if I can show you that on the actual earring. So there's a topaz, a clear topaz, and then there's a clear matte rosy topaz. And those two colors, it's almost hard to see them apart, actually. And this is the one represented in the illustration, this one right here. So I treated those as main and accent. And then your sharper contrasts are these silk, it's like a silk beige and then a very bold ivory in the center. This one, guys, when I'm wearing this one, it really, the ombre of it looks very sophisticated. It's really pretty on. And the same with this one with that beautiful rose glow to it. There's something about those satiny ones too. Give that a chance, because even though it's not coming across on the camera as like as bold as I feel it is in person, it's truly stunning and very soothing when you're wearing it. And it's fast becoming like my favorite pair of earrings right now. These are my colors too. I love a good earth tone and a good beige. So there's those. But then that said, this is just so kicking. It's so cool. I love this. And I feel like I could flip this. Like we could do the turquoise as the main color, and then the mustard would be that accent, meaning it's the one that's the points. So in this case, my accent color is the 4 points, 1, 2, 3, and 4 that you see in the pattern. They just kind of stand out a little different from each other, and they give it some depth. I don't know, my eye for it though changes every time I see it, because I feel like, oh my goodness, it could look good the other way. So hey, if we have time, we can try to make another version with 2 different colors. In fact, Rachel was saying it would be cool to have the top diamond be reversed from the bottom diamond. That would be really neat. And yeah, Colleen, absolutely. So here's a great question from Colleen. Could I make this a bracelet? Totally. And I'm going to show you a way to finish it here at the end that will also work for the mosaic bracelet we did the week before last, I believe it was. That had a closure that was a magnetic stitch-in with 2 prongs, and that was out of stock last I checked. So I thought I would show another way that you could finish that design using a regular good old jump ring lobster claw method or toggle. And that method will work here too to finish a bracelet like this if you just kept going. So let's finish this one. From here on out, we need to do figure 2. And all figure 2 is a reinforcement step. So we just need to go through, and from this point where we are right now, this strand is going to jump and go down through there, and that strand is going to jump and go down through there. It's going to tighten everything up. and it's going to keep the work tight for these next steps. Yeah, and Jennifer's saying yeah, those were actually original tiara cast stock, the clasps that you're asking about, Jennifer. They are so amazing, but of limited supply at this point. So I make it a point to show all alternative methods for finishing things up in every class that I use that kind of thing for. So there's one side reinforced, and let's reinforce the other. And one thing I'll caution is it's really easy to miss a bead. So go slow for this part and make sure you get your needle through every hole. I had one where I could see my thread just skipping one of those tilas, and I was like, oh, do I take it apart for that? I don't know. It was very subtle, but it happens easily. And once you've done that step, everything will pop a little bit better and be a little easier to work. In theory. There we go. So once you've got that worked, from here out, we're going to work independently with each sides of your thread. So you can just set one thread aside for now, and we'll just finish the top, and then we'll come back in with the other strand. We'll work the other way. So I'm going to work this direction. There's a little turn that we're going to repeat over and over again. And that turn looks like this in every spot. It's pretty much the same thing. You're going to, from the tila you're exiting, you're going to try to get to the edge tila, and that will enable you to add your next ones. And when you add the next one, you'll be here, and you'll just make that same turn. So there's a couple of ways to do it. And the more I think about it, there's really the best way to do it is to go over through any of the tilas that's a joining tila. So like this one right here. So how that looks is I'm going to go back down through this and then through the two. So I'm exiting from that one. And now I'll come up through the other hole of that tila. And then I'll be going through the hole of that next one. So you can see that the needle's just in front of that one right there. But I've gone through this one, and I've gone through that one. There you go. And so from here, just jump to the outside hole of that tila. And that puts us right in the position to add the next colors. So there's one. And here's the next one. One more. And this little straggler is hiding over here. Let's bring that out. There we go. And so these are flipping a little bit still on the edge. Let me just turn those. There we go. So far so good. It's really easy. It works up super quick. So from here, we're going to want to, let me bring it up a little bit closer. We're exiting from right here, this edge. We're going to turn and go through this hole of that tila. Carry on through this one, the next one, and then you want to come over down through this one, and then through this hole, and we'll head up that way to add 1, 2, and 3 in between each of those. So that turn, you're just going to repeat that turn every time. And if it's tight, it's good because that means that your tension is great. It can help to kind of pick it up and bend the work a little bit to get your needle. So we're going through all 3 of those. And then make a turn. And the goal being to just get through, let me flip that back out. You just want to get through that one. So that's where we're going to turn. Right through the outside hole of that same bead. And now you got it. Super easy. So I'm going to pick up the next colors. And if you're wondering what colors to use, in this case, I apologize. They don't seem as in this printed version. On my screen, they looked much darker. Like I was trying to represent the differences in color between these two. And they are very close, but I made this one just a little bit darker than that one. I could have done that better. So I might edit this actually. But the colors here are the color A, color B, and color A. In fact, I could even just jot that down really quick for you. So these are A, B, and A. Maybe I should have legended those. And that's representing this right here. You see that's a little different color. And on this one, it looks like that. So right now we're about to add these colors. So here's A. And here's the accent B and A. And it's coming together. Oh, thank you, Lori. Yeah, I was really loving the way that the colorway looked on all of these, actually. So here's that turn again. And eventually you'll just get used to it. It's the same turn. We're just going to head through 3 there. It's always those the 3 that you had that are just below the one you're exiting. And then up through 2. It'll put you right here. And then head down through there. And from here, we're just going to be working color A. There's 1, 2, and here's the turn again. Just through 2 there, and up through 1. So what I've been doing, I'm going to go ahead and show a couple of tricks here. Oh, thanks, Lori. She says the colors are perfect together. Thank you so much. Yeah, I love these mixes. They did such a nice job on them. And of course, anything with the name Tucson in the title is, of course, my favorite. This is the Tucson Tapestry one. And so from here, what you can do, and what's illustrated, is adding another TILA bead. And so that's one way you could do it. And another thing you could do is connect your next one. And that could be done at this step. So that's how you make a whole bracelet together. Is you just link a bunch of these, and they work up pretty fast. Now, I will say, if you're somebody who does peyote a lot, you might be wondering, oh, can I connect just one TILA and then start building? Yeah, you can. You can start building. It just means you're doing a bunch of increases. So if you like doing that, that is possible too. But I think the easiest path, honestly, is just to make a bunch of diamonds and then link them in this fashion. So that's the secret way to get there. One other thing I'll show you before I add the way that I did these. You could also do this. You could get 2 11-0 seed beads. And let me see if I have. I want to grab a jump ring really quick. And all of these are great ideas that you can just interchangeably choose which one you like the most. And I'm going to show them in this order because once I do this way, I won't be able to demo these again because it'll be closed off, although we could do it at the bottom. But I'm going to get a jump ring really quick. Those are all linked together. And actually, before I do that, let's put a lobster claw on it. Thanks, Kelly. Yeah, this is a really fun one. I love doing this. One of the greatest little designs. And it's so easy too, you know? I really do at this time of year love a design that is more inspiring than technical, you know? Okay. So I'm doing this just to show you one other idea. This is another way you could finish the mosaic bracelet from 2 weeks ago too. So go ahead and string your 2 11-0. You can string a jump ring with either an ear wire, you know, anything here, anything goes. And go through the next one. And there you go. So that's one way you could finish this. And then of course you'd want to reinforce that. Head back through everything, reinforce everything, make sure it's strong. Use a complementing color. You can use this. The 2 colors I've used are, I've been using crystal a lot with my crystal fireline. And then this one I felt looked really nice with Tucson Tapestry, but I actually think they both work because look how cute that is too. This makes it look more like, I don't know, Christmas in Albuquerque. Very pretty. And then there's of course, the traditional bronze, which I think very much complements the bronze in that mix. And so those are both. This one is Miyuki, guys. If you find this on the link for shopping for Sam's Bead Shop, this is Miyuki, and this one is Toho. And I have actually tested and found they both work. So try both of those methods to finish your design. So let's go back to how I did the original set. Just going to pull that off there. And how I did that was I just went ahead and grabbed the top of the pyramid here, the little Tila color A. And there's that finished up. So reinforce it by going back through a few times and making sure I didn't miss a Tila back here. Nope, looks like I got through everything. So there's one. So that's reinforced. And I'm going to do that one more time. And this time when I come back up through, I'm going to go through just those 2. So not going through the top one here, but just those. And that's because I want to turn and head up through this part and put on 6 seed beads. And so I'm going to put on a loop for you that you can use to attach your ear wire, and also you can attach something beautiful like that. So to do that, you just grab 4, 5, and 6, and then just go around through. And you'll want to reinforce that 3 times. There we go. And every time you do this, you'll get more of a circle shape, because did you notice how nice those little circles look on the ones I was holding up a second ago? They're super pop. They look like super round. I'm going through this reinforcing step 2 beads at a time and encouraging that. And every time you fill up the beads, the more you're going to get that look. And if you're wanting to encourage it, you can take your round nose pliers and then just pop that in here. And it might even make it look even more poppy. So let's weave in, and then let's work the other side. And the other side is a repeat of what we've done before. And weaving in is actually kind of a repeat of what we've been doing too. It's really easy. It can be somewhat a little bit tricky to get your needle into the, once you've been doing this much reinforcing and tightening. So just kind of sliding it along the top and the side. There we go. So what I did is I kind of guided the needle along the top of the Tila bead to find the hole that's a little bit buried underneath that one. And I was able to get through it, but it's a little tricky. So here, go through these. And every time you make one of these turns, you are making it stronger. Here's an example of where, do you see how my needle would have missed that bronze bead? So just go in slow, make sure you catch all of them. And then I always just kind of, by default, I check out both sides and make sure that I didn't miss a Tila in either place on front or back. No, no, that's okay. I did it. I kept thinking I missed one, but that looked all right. All right, let me give it another loop around here. And I'm not going to trim it yet. I'm going to leave my tail. I'm just going to leave it here for now. And I might come back to it when I'm doing my weaving in later with the other side, with this one. And if you feel like you want extra security, you can knot to that. You can bring the threads together and knot it. Yeah, Helen, it is pretty fast. It's a really fast project. And here's a question. How long does it take to put a pair of the earrings together? Well, it gets faster every time. I'm going pretty slow right now because I'm talking through it, but I probably made these in 20 minutes or less. Like both pairs. Once I got the pattern down, I did take it apart and play. I was trying to get the colors exactly right, and I do stuff like that. Sometimes it adds a little to it, but once you've got a system and a plan, yeah, you can really quickly crank these out. So I'm going to go ahead and go and do that same thing we were doing. Remember the little turn? And I've switched to my tail thread now. Still have my needle on it from when we did our start. So here's go through 3, up through 2. Make a turn and head through that same bead, and let's add our colors. And feel free to make your own patterns. This is one of those very fulfilling, like, pattern making designs that you could easily graph out with graph paper. Here's another turn. I feel like I might have missed one on that side. Let's look. I made it. It's okay. I'm in the habit of checking that now because I did have one that I got all the way to the end and I'm like, oh no, the thread had skipped one and you could see the thread like running right on top of it, which kind of drove me crazy. I had to take it apart and fix it. Luckily, they're really quick. Oh yeah, and so this is where our 4th accent bead, according to the little pattern that I made up, which is not necessarily the only pattern. Definitely do lots of different ones. Here's that turn again. And so it's basically up through 3, down through 2. It's a good way to remember it. Up through 3, down through 2, and turn. And there's the last bead. Super, super fast. Yeah, Terry says they look like puzzle pieces. They really do. I feel like they really do. They're really fun. Let's see if I missed any questions. Yeah, Lori, these are not intimidating at all. They're super, super easy. And the amount of ways you can finish it, or there's so many ways. Yeah, thanks, Kelly. There's a dozen ways you can make this, and this is only like three ideas. I think there's so many more. So yeah, let me go ahead and put another loop on the bottom of this one, just so we can see the loop again. But we're doing so great on time. If you guys want to see another colorway demoed, I could probably do that too. So here, I'm going to reinforce this connection. There's one. And back through. And then there's this reinforcing connection here. And this time I'm just going to go through the 2 so I can make a turn. And that brings me to the edge of this one. 3, 4, 5, and 6. And I'm going to set that down for just a second because I want to finish my wrap loop really quick. Round nose are here. Slide that down. I was watching my friend Deb Floros make wrap loops the other day during one of our lives. She does her wrap loops totally uniquely, like such a different way. I was like, that's so cool. And it was way faster than the way I do it. So yeah, if you check out some of her videos, watch how she makes wrap loops. You'll be like, hang on. It's like way efficient. I tried it her way, but my hand wasn't as practiced, and it was kind of like, it wasn't really working for some reason for me, but I know it's working for her. So I intend to study it more. But I'm still doing that thing where I hold my loop with my pliers to do the wrapping. I don't know if you guys do that too. But if you're going to do a dangle, maybe like the best way to do this step, just so you don't have to add extra jump ringing, is go ahead and do it now. So you've got 6 seed beads. And then just go through your loop here. And actually my loop is big enough to fit over my seed beads, but if yours isn't, do a string 3 like that. Cynthia, she says, I can't believe the number of patterns. Well, I'm kind of on a roll. I do hope it continues. I think I'm going to take like maybe a week off around the holidays and just kind of rest a little bit. But by rest, I mean like come up with new stuff and bank it so that I can go even faster next year. No, I do sleep though. I think the thing that I've been missing out the most on lately though, as far as like just trying to get stuff done, is I've cut back on, like, I used to do a lot of running and a little bit more exercise. I need to get that back a little bit. So I'm thinking I'll try to get out a little bit more, but the weather's so bad. It's not really want to, like today we have this really bad storm. And I know I got out and I walked in it, which I'm super proud of, but the wind was so bad and like my hair was all messed up. I'm like, yeah, awesome weather we got here. I'm just reinforcing this loop, guys. And there we go. And let me show you a quick trick for weaving in that might help somebody. And we can see if we have time for, I saw a suggestion for another colorway. We can at least start it. Oh, thank you, Colleen. Thank you so much. I didn't see the rest of that convo, but I see that Kelly says thank you. Thank you too. You guys are awesome. And so again, I'm just making sure I don't skip because I am notorious for doing that as I weave around. Almost there. Actually, I want to end up kind of over there. So if I go over here, so you can really turn anywhere. I was kind of making a point of turning around on the bronze though, so I feel like the thread will show against that beautiful turquoise. So let's do this. All right, so now I'm up through here. All right, I've met my tail thread. And I want a knot to my tail thread. So what I'm thinking I might do is just feed it back through. And this is optional. I believe you could trim your thread at this point if you wanted. But if you just want to be extra, extra, extra sure, I brought it to meet my tail. So they're both kind of hanging out underneath that Tila bead. One on one side there. And I'm going to go ahead and just do a good old shoelace knot. Try to make sure that it stays in between those two beads, doesn't overhang any of them. Just be a little careful with it. All right, and now I know I can bring, to hide that knot inside the last bead there, I can bring this up. There we go. There we go. I felt the knot kind of slide into the Tila there. So let's pull both sides. And you see you've got one part of that knot end here, and then one's at the bottom of the Tila on that side. And the knot is just hidden in the middle. So grab if you have a burner, this is a great time for a burner. Oh, hey, Rachel. Thank you. I love this. I love the mixes you made. They make designing so easy. They're so pretty. And then that side there. All right. Let me pop an ear wire on this, and then we've got a beautiful design done. So many beautiful colorways we can do. Oh yeah, Rachel, for the I can actually show it again though, but we showed it just at the start when we were finishing this top part. We did just a quick demo of how to put the two seed beads in between, which works not only for this, but also for the mosaic bracelet that we did 2 weeks ago. And that you can find on Sam's Bead Shop YouTube channel. And it's the coolest little bracelet. It actually has the same kind of start that this one does, meaning it starts with the same little 2-needle method to add these. And then you continue on just in a square shape. Basically kind of the same thing we did here without the decreases. So actually, now that I'm thinking about it, this is the same exact bead weaving that we did for mosaic. The only difference is we introduced decreases with every row to get the diamond shape, but it's the same exact stitch. There's like literally nothing different other than the decreases. So when you get to the end of mosaic, what you have is something that is as wide as how we started this one. And what you can do is just fill it in with seed beads. And on the center one, you can just lock in your lobster claw clasp in place of the last Tila bead. That works for anything like the diamond, the flat edge, all of that. And that's just one idea. I feel like you could also even just loop out into like a bar, or there's many different ways. But let's see if we can, I think we have time to at least start another one. I might not be able to finish the whole thing, but I saw a suggestion for another type of color. And I think somebody said fire. I wonder if we can do that. I wonder if we could use a few together, maybe a few of the colors together. It would be hard for you guys to see under the current light that I'm presenting with, but in person, the colors that I'm holding up right now, very, very dramatically different from each other. But what if I blended them? Let's just see for kicks and grins what would happen. Here's the transparent taupe. I'm going to come down actually with my camera. There we go. So there's the transparent topaz. And there's the blushy one. It's like a matte blushy color. And here is the shiny one I was using from Tucson Tapestry. This one almost looks like a golden version of that one. And then here's bronze. And if we even brought in the yellow, that's kind of fiery looking too. Oh, so cool. I don't know. So it might not be easy for you guys to see a mix made like that, but if you got both mixes, you could do something like that. And maybe have like the darkest color in the center and then just ombre it out from the center. That would be neat. You know what I feel like I need to do? I need to create a blank one of these. So I don't think it'll take me long to do that. Why don't I make you guys a blank diamond so you can color it in and make your own pattern? I'll do that, and I'll actually add a legend with A, B, C, and D, so you can lay out your colors as A, B, C, and D, and then you can even make more than 4 colors. You know? Oh, that's a cool idea. Kelly has a cool idea here. Yeah, fire would go great. Yeah, that's cool. How fun! And I mean, you can make so many different versions, even with just like 2 mixes. I've already got 5 different versions going, so I can't even imagine how cool it could get with just even more. So let's see. One thing, one thing I did want to see, which I think would be bold on the camera right now, is the flipped version of this. So where we bring the turquoise to the outside. So I bet you I could do that in 10 minutes. If you guys are cool with it, I will riff on that for a second because I think that will be really neat to see. So let's get 40 inches of beading thread. So anyone who joined late, this is the start. We're going back to the start. You start with 40 inches, which for me is like shoulder to the end of my arm. And then you'll want to get 2 needles and put a needle on each end. There we go. Sorry about that. It's taking a minute. So let's go with turquoise. And we'll put that on both needles. Oh, thanks, Jennifer. Yeah, I love it, like how excited I get with the new colors. So I am so happy when other people are too. Yeah, that's going to be gorgeous. All right, so let's grab 2 more. And again, I brought this to the midpoint of the thread. So we put it on both needles. We slide that down right to the midpoint. And now I've got 2 more, 1 on each needle. And now I'm going to put mustard on each needle. Sorry, 1 on both needles. And slide that down. Oops, he wanted to join us. Hang on a second. And if you pull working and tail thread apart, you should get that start. And this will look really familiar. If you just did the mosaic bracelet, this is kind of the same thing. So we've got a tila on each needle here. Those 2. And then let's go for the center color, which I think is going to be, I'd like this to be the center. Yeah, that's going to be cute. All right, so I think I'm going to work this one a little differently. It's going to have 3 colors. I'm going to probably not use the bronze, but I am going to need to get a few more of, because you'll notice I skipped my accent there, which in this case, like on this one, for example, we did bronze there. I'm going to actually just do the 3 version here, just to make it a little bit different. So I need a few more of those. So this one, and this one, and then, so that's 1 on each needle. And then we're going to bring 1 onto both needles. There we go. Okay, and then back to the yellow. I'm just tightening it after each one, and turquoise to end it. So this is definitely straying from the PDF pattern just a little, but that's okay. So we're having fun. And watch this be my favorite after all that. So there's the first, and it's basically almost the same thing. The only thing you'll notice is different is this color I didn't make that a different color. I let that be the same as what was my color C in the original thought. Let's reinforce it. Go through all of these beads with each of the needles. So this one's coming out from here, going through all those. And then the same thing with the other side. I'm going to bring that down through all of these. Try not to miss one. All right, and pull the working and tail thread apart one more time. In this case, actually, they're both working threads. I can't really call one of them a tail. And so there's what we've got. All reinforced, and now it's time to do those turns. So to make the turn, you go down through 3. So 1, 2, and 3. Pull that. And then up through 2. Up through 1. And then 2. And then you want to turn to that same one and go through the outside hole of that Tila bead. Puts you right in the spot to add the next 4. So here's 1. And here's 2. 3. And here's 4. Here's the turn again. So down through 3 and up through 2. And that is a peyote stitch decrease. And turn to the outer bead. There we go. Oops. Jumping everywhere. Here, I'll flip it this way. That's a little easier. All right. And another turn. Down through 3, up through 2. And then over. See how quick this goes? This really does not take long to make. And there we go. Here's that turn again. I'm having needles jumping off today. All right. And last part. So just in case anyone wants to see again, I want to show that trick again. So we finished the first half. It looks really good. And you know what I'm going to do really quick is that any better, guys? Bring this back down. There, I like that better. It's much brighter. Okay. Yeah, I love this. It's so pretty. Okay, so what I was mentioning earlier, just in case anybody wants to see it one more time, is you can pick up 2 seed beads right now and go through a clasp with a jump ring, or even just right through the clasp if you'd like. Play with the counts of your jump rings to get that to fit, all that, right? And then just go through the other one. This will work for both Mosaic from the Mosaic class and for this. So super easy. Anything with this kind of an edge on it. So like the tile bracelet, in that case, I would just center it between what would be about that wide. You can also fill in all of these with seed beads. So you see how each of these could be filled in with 2 seed beads. If you want, you could go like and taper it down like I've done here, just by 1, and that will give you a center point. Possibly easier to do it that way. Try all those things though, but this general way will get you there for finishing it as a bracelet if you just wanted to use one. And the seed bead size I'm using is an 11.0. In the case of what you're looking at here, it's 11.0 Miyuki, and this is the 11.457. And then there's also this crystal silver line, which is what I had over here. And that's also an 11.0. And the link that I share, that Colleen is sharing in our chat, is the link where you can find all of these items. And so also what you could do here is, if you didn't want to do the whole loop thing, this is very pretty. I liked the way that that looks. But if you wanted to just be super speedy about it, like, you could go right to an ear wire from here. Let me show you what that looks like. Oh, thanks, Colleen. You guys are so nice. Thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying the class. I'm having fun too. So what I'm doing here is I'm just actually like closing that, making that nice and closed. And now I'm going to string it. And this will really save you time, because now you don't have to make the loop. It just depends if it's important to you to have that center Tila bead or not. But that looks nice too. So that's an alternative to doing that little loop at the top. It does mean we don't get to enjoy seeing this like top bead. So it's kind of a trade-off, which one you like more. But they both work, you know, they're both really good. And you can have the center point at the bottom after having done one like that. So there you go. So there's a bunch of new tools to try and inspire all kinds of great ideas that you guys will have. And let me bring myself back really quick. And do you guys want to do the giveaway? Let's do the giveaway really quick. I'm going to do a share screen here. All right, so here we go. And again, this is for 1 jar of my winter mix that we're going to be teaching in my class next week. Hey, Jay Valentin, congratulations. So you've won the winter mix. I'll put this on the camera here, actually. That is a little winter solstice mix, actually, is its full name. And so send me your address if I don't already have it. I don't recognize your full name from here on YouTube, but if I already have it, you can just send me a reminder that, hey, you have it, and check your Etsy. Otherwise, just send me your address to my email address, or you can reach me through, let's see, Instagram. I'm at Danielle Wickes Jewelry. Another place you can find me is through my website, daniellewickesjewelry.com. If you hit the contact form there, it sends me an email, pops right up on my phone. I see it right away. Yeah, so congratulations. And so I hope you guys are going to make these. Who's going to make these earrings? Just give me a thumbs up or a yes in the chat. I want to know who's going to make these. And if you do, if you could please share them into Gem Chat. I would love to see the colors you make and the styles that you create for this and the mosaic bracelet from a couple of weeks ago. Yay, Sherry says she's going to make it. Awesome. Super cool. Tana, Bobby. Yeah, Lori says she's making them. Oh, it's going fast now. Julie, Barbara. Thanks, guys. Zakaya. I got lots of thumbs up from Zakaya. And Hannah's making them. Okay, awesome. Well, cool. I will keep my eyes peeled so I don't miss getting to see them. Cynthia, she's making hers. So cool. I will keep my eyes open, and I will definitely be putting lots of hearts and emojis because I like using those things. I want to wish you guys a great rest of your weekend. Thank you so much for being here today. And yeah, if you enjoyed the video, please give us a thumbs up. Love that. And I will see you Monday night. I'll be back Monday at 4. And I have a couple ideas. There's 2 things on my mat, and I don't know which one's going to win yet, but I'll be posting that as soon as I have it finished and I have a good photo. All right, thanks, guys. I'll see you next time.